Hey everyone, how you guys doing? I'm Armando Aguilar, motivational speaker and life coach for mental illness and personal development, and the founder of Bipolar Depression Power, if we haven't met. I am here with a true close friend of mine, Ruben Torres. A lot of the people that I'm bringing to the channel are people that I admire, that I've worked with, or that I've established a great relationship. Ruben and I go way back. I don't even remember how we met, but I know we go way back.
Way back, yeah.
Well, Ruben has a movement called Love the Neighbor, and we'll get into that. But he also has a podcast called Connect with Ruben Torres. What I love about Ruben is he has a strong faith, a Christian faith, but I never see you impose it on anybody. I never see you go, hey, if you don't agree with me, then you and I can't be friends.
Yeah. Jesus never did that. You know, I think we try to lead by example with Love Thy Neighbor. What we do is we're more faith in action.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it once said, always preach the gospel, sometimes use words. And
That's awesome.
so sometimes, you know, it's just like, dude, what if we couldn't speak? How are people going to see Jesus in you? It's not by your Facebook posts, it's by your actions. You know?
Right.
So we try to, you know, do what we can and lead people in that direction and say, dude, there's something different about what those people are doing. So we try to, as much as we can, lead by example, do what we can, and show people the light. I want to be, you know, a light in a dark place. You know, sometimes when you're in a movie theater and you know, the movie's going on, it's like a dark scene, and someone turns on their phone or something,
and it just shines
there in a dark place, you know.
That's
So I'm like, that's how we need to be sometimes, be a light in a dark place.
But see, I like the fact that your light shines, but not overcasts. Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean by, like I said, I remember when I reached out to you, asked you some advice, or somebody that it wasn't even in your belief, and the way you presented it to me and said, you know, look at it this way, it meant a lot to me, because again, the way you present things, everybody's very welcoming, and you're very selective of who you bring to your events, even though you're very open to everybody. But I think your tight niche is, you're very selective, which should be, right? We determine who sits at our table.
Yeah.
And but I like I said, I repeat that too, because I've come across so many people that are like, you know, this, and if you're not this, then you're that. And that's one thing that I've always loved about you, that somebody can have a different belief, and it's cool. Let me voice mine, you voice yours. If we connect, right on, and if not, we'll still mingle. And that takes a great leader, and that's what I meant by leader. That takes a great leader to be able to separate your emotions and your feelings and your belief and still lead a path of so many different people. And then within that process, some of them might turn and follow you, what you preach, right? Because of that, because I don't feel like you're choking people.
You know, I want to attract the unchurched, the people that don't go to church, and just have them, you know, kind of come and see what we're about, and see that, hey man, you could do some cool stuff and still love the Lord, you know. Right. But you know, we have people like, you know, POD that's performed at our events. We've had FrankieJ.
Andy Vargas.
Andy Vargas is a common one, and he's the lead singer for Carlos Santana, and he stays in constant contact with us, and hey, what else can I do? What else can you know, we get involved in? And he's the lead singer for, you know, multi-platinum Grammy award-winning, you know, band.
Forget that. Carlos Santana's an icon. They just said they were icon. You know what I mean?
So to me, it's like when we have guys like that are involved.
Well, Sonny from POD and all the guys at POD are always. I really have never seen POD be willing to give their time to that level that they do with you. I mean, I think there's even times that Sonny has changed dates and tours and stuff to be there with you, because to support what you're doing. And I never seen them feel like, oh man, I gotta do this. It's like, no, I'm here because this is my boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he at our last toy drive we did, we had an autograph signing with Rey Mysterio, and
it was the one that I invited me to speak.
And so we had some issues with the generator, and the lights kept going off, and so Sonny, you know, he signed up to volunteer to help, and he was there. You know, he's a multi-platinum Grammy award-winning artist, the whole thing, and he's there fixing lights, and he's cleaning up, picking up trash, and people are like walking by, like, hey, isn't that the singer for POD coming out? Hey man, you mind if I take a picture? And he's like, yeah, my hands are dirty, but you know, it's those that don't know, just to put you up on a little game on what I've been doing in most of my events, and I've been doing events for a long time, but and probably the last 6, 7, 8 events that I've done, I invite Armando to come up on stage and just share a little something about mental illness and his journey and where he's at, and to let people know that they can come speak to him at our events. And it's something that I don't do at all. I don't always have like speakers. I don't even always have a pastor come up and do an altar call or do, all these different things, but I always have Armando come up and at least share a little something.
Sometimes he even surprises me. He'll be on the stage and be like, "Hey, come here." I'm like, "What?" Tell him. I'm like, "Whoa. What do I do?"
But I think it's special because, like you said, especially in the Latino culture, it's something that we hide.
You always provided a booth for me to have a voice there, to have people learn about it. And we've been lucky to influence some people to make their life change. And not only that, to see the welcoming side of mental illness is not a choice. It was something that was given to us, right? So we're just trying to live with it and try to do better. But if you don't have that education, it's really hard to understand that person. So with you allowing us to be at your events and putting me on stage and all that, it opens that, because I believe in your events, it also minimizes the stigma, because they already know that you bring quality thing that you believe in, that you've established. So I think that really also puts us in a level of, okay, I want to hear this, because if Ruben brought it, I want to hear it, because it's already legit, you know what I mean?
It means a lot.
And the one big thing that I think, and I support every religion because of the fact the illness doesn't care. The illness doesn't care if you're African American, if you're Latino.
Doesn't discriminate.
Yeah, it doesn't discriminate at all. So, but I also think that your message, just as you as a person and love the neighbor, and your podcast has great value in so many different levels that anybody with whatever your belief is can gain a lot from.
Yeah, our guests that we've had on are entrepreneurs or influencers, and I try to ask questions about how they got in their field, and their mentors or their influence, things that they've learned, and kind of along the same lines of what you're doing. And to me, I think that kind of educates and empowers those that may want to jump in that field.
Right.
So I think it's something that was a big deal. Now I'm switching it up a little bit more, and I'm getting more community involvement. So now I'm getting people that are doing stuff in the community that I think is you don't have to be a celebrity or sell a million records to be on. Now I want to do more like, hey, you're making an impact in the community, and let's have you on, let people hear your voice. I think it's become a little more of a focus for me now, to where I want to do more of the community-based organizations and community leaders, and give them a little spotlight.
Talking about passion and love and all that, tell me how it is to be a father, be so young, and know all these people that can influence your kids in so many different ways, or people want to reach your kids because of who you know, or the list goes on.
She's a leader at her church for the youth group. And she kind of has different stances on stuff. And
see, but that's a smart move, because a lot of other kids will follow, right?
Yeah.
Other kids, oh no, I need to go do this. She's like, wait a minute, I want to value my choices. Yeah. And if I make this choice, what would happen over here, right? And then Benicio's awesome too.
He's just kind of in the middle. He doesn't.
He just chills.
Videos, and he does his own thing. He doesn't trip on all that.
Allow your kids to be who they need to be. And let them be. And I think that's why your little girl, I believe she's also going to be a great leader, because she's not going to let anybody else minimize her or influence her, because she's got a straight mind. And you don't like my shoes? That's your issue, not mine. You know what I mean?
That's how she is.
Yeah, that's your issue. That's not mine. I like my shoes, and that's it.
Our job as a parent is to be an example, and to teach them in the ways of the Lord.
So we touched bases on your beautiful family, on you, and love the neighbor, and your podcast. Where do you see Ruben in 5 years?
I see myself still doing what I'm doing. I want to say it was in 2010, I went through, early on, 2007, I went through a divorce, and I went through a little depression, man, and I kind of lost my way a little bit and started, drinking and partying again, doing what people do.
But a lot of people, because of the depression, that's the way they mask the pain.
Yeah, so
and
that
you,
was
obviously
yeah.
you lost, a person you love, and everything changed, and it's so easy to pick up a bottle or or drink or so many other things, right? To mask the pain, because that's such a big pain. So you went through a hard time. Yeah, you were drinking and partying.
Started doing my thing again.
Enjoying the life when you were single again.
Yeah. Before I kind of, had my name and I was doing all this stuff in LA and, I was touring with all these major names and doing all, and then I just kind of like put a pause on everything, and I got this job, like this 9 to 5 that I didn't want to be at, and I was just like, what am I doing?
And that's in the period of your depression, right?
Yeah.
How depressed were you, like, where you're not able to get out of bed, or were you because there's depression has manic and where you can't get out of bed. There's the high and the low.
I think I was functioning,
Yeah, but with the pain, right?
Yeah, and I think bad attitude and I just went through a lot of that to where I was like, I don't care. In 2010, my little brother, he was at my house, and I think we had just partied one night, or I don't remember what it was, but he happened to be on my couch, and there was other people, and I just came out of my room, and it was almost kind of like I just snapped out of it and came. I remember like kicking the couch. I was like, wake up! I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna start a video show, and it's gonna be called Connected with Ruben Torres. It just kind of came to me like that, and we're gonna interview people. We're gonna do it. And he just kind of like, dude, we don't have cameras. No one knows how to edit. What are you talking about?
The downer, right? There's always that downer.
We're gonna figure it out.
Where you get a mic from?
And so he was like, okay, cool, let's do it. I'll follow your lead. And I kind of started feeling like I was getting my name back, but I don't think I was fully, I didn't fully run back to the Lord until like end of 2013, 2014.
That's a period of depression that a lot of people pass due to something that happened, right? There's the difference of having a mental illness, and then there's the period where divorce, or you lost someone that you love, or lost your job, did a wrong investment, that you fall into a depression. And it was 3 years. Some people go 3 or 4 years, but I'm glad that it got to a point where you said, you know what, I'm done with it, and something snapped, and you changed it, and that's a beautiful thing, that people can do that. And facing an illness is a lot harder, right? Because you're dealing with it. But I'm really glad and super happy for you that you were like, you know what, I'm done. This is what I want to do. I need to take another step back in my life. I need to move forward. And even though you didn't have a mic, you didn't have a camera, so we're going to make this happen. And here you are. You have your podcast. It's a phenomenal podcast. So, Ruben, give me 4 tips that you would like to give my viewers.
4 tips.
In anything in your life, whether it be by parenthood, by being a voice, by being a leader, by being Christian, whatever you want. And how can you give somebody 4 tips that you think are important?
I don't know. I should have rehearsed for that one. You should have told me this. Would have wrote them down and said, I got the 4 right here. I would say definitely one of the tips would be focus on one thing and be great at it, instead of focus on 10, 15 things and be okay at it.
That's a phenomenal one. Perfect. So you gave us 2 phenomenal tips. One of them, obviously, which is awesome, don't make excuses for your path. And then what would be 2 more?
I think the third one is, I would say, probably use your influence to do something positive.
It is so important that within my channel that people not only get value through the knowledge that you bring, but also want people to walk away and go, you know what? Not only did I learn so many things of what he does, but these 4 amazing tips can impact me. Because you never know, you might be that guy that sparks the other person that you got sparked and change completely their whole life. Right?
What did Tupac say? Tupac said, I may not be the fire that. I might not be the one that changes the world, but I may spark the fire in someone else that does. And that's some, I've always said I wanted to do too. Like, hey man, I might not be the one changing the world, but someone that volunteered with this may, or maybe my kids, or our volunteers, or what I'm saying, like someone else may, just by having a conversation or watching this or whatever. So
Be the one
to
that
me,
makes a change.
I'd love to inspire other people to do that. I think my last one would probably be surround yourself with a good team. You know, you got Joe here.
Phenomenal guy.
He's excellent at what he does. You know, I always want to be surrounded by smarter people than myself. I've always heard the the saying, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
You're completely in the wrong room.
So, you know, to me, I try to surround myself with smarter people than me. And just for the record, when you called me, I didn't ask. I was just telling Joe, I was like, I didn't even ask questions. It wasn't like, what are we interviewing about, or what are we doing? I was just like, let's just do it.
We don't tell people any questions because they always change.
But what I'm saying is, like, it didn't, because of our relationship. It was
Right.
you need,
Exactly.
I got you. Whatever.
Right. Exactly. I
Whatever
totally agree.
let's do it.
Yeah. Exactly. Usually you do ask, what are you going to ask me, or usually a lot of times it's like, well, this is off the record.
Yeah.
We never heard anything like that. You're like, I'm free.
But,
ask me anything you
I
want.
I didn't hesitate. You asked me to do something.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I
Let's do
really
it.
do value your
And,
time.
And you've been a part, like I said, of what we do.
Thank
And
you.
so, when I say, part of the team, it's like, when, I don't have anybody that I really go to on mental illness stuff that I can say, hey, I know somebody that struggles with this, or hey, talk to Armando, or, and so, like, when I do my events, you're part of that. And I invite you to come up and speak on it.
Always. There's not a time that I've never had one time where I go, Ruben, you're like, dude, you have a table. What else do you need?
Yeah.
I just pick up the phone. All right, Ruben, done. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing to have that, and for you to value what I do and how I help other people, and for I to value what you do. I think that's what makes such a great friendship within us. And we grow so many things.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate you being so open and regarding your relationship, your failed marriage, but now it's a good marriage. Speaking about your kids, I really do appreciate that you were completely open. And like you said, when I called you, you're like, yeah, dude, I'm available this time. You're available. Okay, let's make it happen. And what is it? I have faith in you.
Let's talk about it.
Exactly about it. So, Ruben, it is a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here at Bipolar Depression Power. And I deeply want to say thank you for all the support that you've given me that has allowed me to help other people that I probably wouldn't have to reach for. So your little part has put a lot of people in, and I really want to thank you for that. So we want to close it. What we'll close it all the time is, remember, you're not the illness. It is something that you face. Much love. And do check out Love the Neighbor and connect with Ruben Torres. We'll link all the information. Do subscribe and do this whole thing somewhere. The subscribe thing. So we definitely appreciate that, and much love.